Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Agents of MACE. It's been a little while. We've been really busy here at MACE headquarters. So, but we're back, and we're in that weird in-between phase where the series ended, the special episode, or well, I guess it was just called a special presentation, is over, and now we're somewhat patiently waiting for the next movie and then hopefully the next series and so on and so forth. So exciting news. This week, we're kind of diving into all the trailers that have been released over the past couple weeks and kind of where Marvel is going with all of this. So I guess we'll kind of go in like chronological order. As much as we can, but the final movie for Phase 4 is coming out next week? Yeah, the 11th.
I thought it was Ant-Man Quantumania not closing out Phase 4?
I don't think so. I thought Quantumania was the first of Phase 5.
Hey, let's fact check this real quick.
Phase 5 Feige revealed at San Diego Comic-Con Phase 5 opens with an Ant-Man movie. So that would have to be this one, Quantumania. Which is interesting because I know it's setting like Kang is the big villain in Quantumania, and I'm wondering if Kang is going to be like the villain for Phase 5. Because kind of going right into Wakanda Forever, it doesn't really seem like Wakanda Forever unless Kang is like a villain that they introduce in Wakanda Forever and then
maybe
battle in Quantumania.
So technically we've got like 7 days until we can watch Wakanda Forever,
right?
Unless you're one of the lucky few that got early screenings. Because early thoughts are already out there. I've been doing my best to just kind of ignore them completely. I have heard if you're like on Letterboxd or somewhere and you go to Wakanda Forever and you look at the cast page, there's a major spoiler there.
Oh, boo.
So I'm like avoiding that. Because, what's been the one thing that I've been pushing? Like, I'm expecting we're going to get an introduction to Doctor Doom in Wakanda Forever. Maybe I'm right. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Some people already do know. But that's why I'm like avoiding it. But yeah, I'd be curious to see if Kang shows up there. If that's going to be more of the setup. Which doesn't make sense at this point. Probably not. I mean, if for the fans that have already watched the Quantumania trailer, like that's the perfect setup right there. And honestly, I'm happy, but also kind of surprised that they released that trailer before Wakanda Forever. We're probably going to see this on the big screen, but is one of those, like, I was kind of expecting it to show either before the movie or they're going to do like the post-credit trailer.
I'm hoping that like maybe the trailer that we get before the movie will be like a little bit longer with some different stuff in it so that it's like new.
Yeah, because like I do really like the Quantumania trailer, but there's like things that I've heard that fans got to see at like Comic-Con that we haven't officially seen yet. And it definitely sets a whole different tone than what this trailer gave us.
So maybe that will be the like pre-trailer for Wakanda Forever.
I mean, that would be really awesome, but I'm not expecting it. But it would be cool.
Well, really quick, speaking on Wakanda Forever, so we've had a couple trailers now.
Yeah.
The first trailer I feel like did a really good job of keeping us a little bit surprised with like the Atlanteans showing up and Namor and what they're doing with this side of the story. I feel like the first trailer was like real good about making that stuff like, ooh, is that, could that be? The most recent trailer is just like in your face, basically I mean, it's the worst kind of trailer, right? It almost seems like it just gives away the movie. I'm sure that there are things that we don't see that will be exciting. Um, I think that it almost seems like this movie is the first movie that they're making to set up a Disney Plus series as opposed to set up something for the future MCU, like a movie wise.
Like, are you thinking around Namor and just the Atlanteans?
Well, so Riri Williams is in this.
Well, yeah,
it will be our first like introduction to her and to Ironheart, and we already know that. Yeah, she has the Ironheart series.
Mm-hmm.
I was reading up a little bit on some of this before we sat down, and apparently she injured her back and had to leave production to recuperate during the filming of Black Panther. So
wow,
it seems like she's back. She was able to go back, and COVID became like an issue with shooting. So the shoot kept getting pushed around and pushed back, and we saw that as fans with the movie release date seeming to just like keep getting moved back further and further along with everything else. But I feel like if her leaving set caused a big enough issue where they had to push production back, I feel like she's going to play a bigger role in this than just like a introductory side character. So it almost seems like, as much as for the movie's sake, it would sort of make sense maybe for them to introduce Kang as a villain in this to then show up as like the villain in Quantumania. I kind of feel like they're going to stick more with the like, look, here's Namor and Atlantis, and also here's Riri Williams. And I don't know that we're going to get like I don't know. This phase has been a weird phase, right? Like it basically like began with everybody leaving. That's pretty much been this phase, right? Like no more Iron Man. Spider-Man is moving back to Sony. Chris Evans is done being Captain America. So the movies have just kind of been, I don't know, these weird, like almost filler movies. Like the Black Widow movie didn't really have anything to do with anything. I'm definitely excited.
Setup. Yeah, it's just you're getting more setup than anything, and I'm very intrigued to see what they're going to do with Ironheart. How much will we get to see Riri in the outfits? Are we going to? It's almost like, are we going to? I'm expecting we're going to get some really cool moments, and then the series is just going to kind of like backtrack to give more of the origin to lead up to things.
I can't believe that they showed her in the suit in the trailer. That seems
briefly though, right? So I mean,
it's like her I've only watched away for a second.
Yeah, I've only watched the newer trailer like maybe one or two times. So like, there's a couple of moments that I remember. I don't remember that one which I'm glad, because like I just don't want I want to go in with this.
Yeah,
try to forget all that
like
stuff
something that they would just save that for the big screen. Like you could have her in the background. Like I think they even like say her name in the trailer at one point. Sure, he's like, "This is Riri," and it's like, that's fine.
Yeah,
don't show her in her suit though. Like that's what we all want to go to the movie to see. So I don't know. I'm still excited regardless. It's right around the corner, so everybody should get ready for the new Black Panther Wakanda Forever. I think the trailer that I was not least looking forward to, but least excited for, and after seeing it am the most excited for, has to be the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special. I'm interested. I want to watch it. Right.
Oh, yeah.
We're definitely going to watch it for the show. I'm going to watch it. But I don't know that I was like looking forward to it, or that it was like even on my radar for like, I can't wait till this comes out. Then I saw the trailer and immediately was like, I cannot wait for this to be out. It looks like nonsense. It looks like it's all I want from Guardians. Like, I feel like when Chris Evans, Chris Pratt started to get a little bit more serious and do more movies, they kind of made Star-Lord a little bit more of like a serious character. And really the last 2 times that we've seen him, he's been a little bit more straight-laced and serious and not as comical. Whereas like all the other Guardians are just pretty much comic relief throughout that movie. And this whole series is like the Guardians of the Galaxy minus Star-Lord. So it looks like it's just funny after joke after joke. And I am here for it.
Yeah, this is I was pretty neutral on this. I'm definitely intrigued by it, and the trailer has me very excited just to see where all this is going to go, especially with some of the new cast coming in. So we got Cosmo. You've got Groot that's a little more grown.
I saw some article that I was reading called him Alpha Groot. And I don't
really
know enough about Groot to know if that's like if that's like actually what he is called.
I thought we've had discussions around this, and I'd have to go look that up again. Yeah, I don't know.
Because he looks weird. He definitely looks more like the newer comic version of Groot.
He looks like very he basically looks like very bulky, like muscular Groot,
but his head is tiny.
Very young in the face. Yeah.
I don't know why they made his head so small.
Yeah.
It looks very strange. I mean, if you look up like the newer Guardians of the Galaxy comics, like he does have the body type from that, but then it's like the head from the first Guardians movie, but like teenage size. I don't know.
I just want to know, like, what is going to be Kevin Bacon's overall role in this? Like, the moment that, the objective is definitely getting Kevin Bacon to Quill to try to cheer him up. But what's going to happen the moment they meet?
Right. Also, do you think that we're going to get any nods to the fact that Kevin Bacon was in an X-Men movie?
I hope so.
Me too. I mean,
forgot about that for a quick second. Yeah, Kevin Bacon was a baddie at one point in X-Men. So like,
yeah,
he's a great hero, but maybe he's gonna be like, I'm not the hero you think I am.
I just like, I really want him to like, when they're in his house, maybe we just see the helmet from First Class, like in a glass case or something.
What's her name? Is it Diamond or I can't remember.
Emma Frost.
Yeah, seeing her just walk in the background.
Yeah, just something, some little tidbit of like, we already know that you're in. Yeah, and now you're in.
There's no telling what they could do with this. It's like, are they going to go meta and like we'll see like the I Am Groot TV show playing somewhere?
Probably a Rogers the Musical. I would imagine we're going to slip that in somewhere.
I'm expecting Rogers the Musical for sure. It would be awesome to see cameos like Hawkeye or Peter, like anyone else would be really cool to see.
Now I feel like this is their chance to like be a little crazy and just have fun. So
yeah, but it's like, I'm just curious to see what is this going to do to lead into the next film, which will be their final film. And from what we've been told, it's going to be like pretty heavy. So it's almost like this is holiday special, right? This should be like I'm cheering you up, and I don't want this thing to just leave you like super depressed. Like,
we'll see. We'll
find out.
Yeah. So we're looking forward to that. Right now, it's odd that they don't have a date yet, but they still don't have a date
for the holiday special.
Yeah,
I thought they did.
Did they?
I'm pretty sure they did. So it's the 25th.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Yeah. So it's in. So yeah. So I mean, basically, we know that this month we're going to be able to talk about Wakanda Forever and then the holiday special. But nothing's coming out in December, correct?
Because then Quantumania is the next big thing, and that's February.
That's like right before my birthday.
So moving along, we got Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. We've all seen the trailer, parts of the, shot from your jacket camera trailer from San Diego Comic-Con. I will say I am excited for hopefully what they got to see at San Diego Comic-Con being the new trailer that I would assume would come out with Wakanda Forever. I'm excited. It's going to kick off this new phase with a bang, pretty much. Like, there's no setup here unless Kang is in fact the big bad for the whole thing, in which case, like, maybe it is a setup movie and we just don't know yet, but it seems like a lot is going to happen in this movie. So
yeah, I'm more curious because we get this moment in the trailer where Janet just freaks out. So it's like when she was in the quantum realm, like what did she make it to this area? What does she know about it? Like what all was going on? Because essentially we're getting to this newer place where everything kind of connects for Kang. And so it's kind of like what we've kind of gotten in Loki in a way. So
we're also going to get Bill Murray.
Yeah, we get Bill Murray. I'm curious, what is his role in this going to be?
I don't know, but that's a big get to just toss him in for like a joke. So I feel like he's gonna
deliver for sure.
Yeah. And I'm hoping that he like surprises us all and it's like something crazy that like just some of the things that I've been reading is we think in this new phase we're going to get AIM like fully integrated as like a villainous company and potentially get MODOK in some form.
Yeah.
I don't know that it's going to be giant floating head with little arms MODOK, or if it's going to be a little bit more of like a realistic version that maybe something happens to and gets transformed into the MODOK we know from the comics. I don't know, but I am interested in them pulling MODOK in because if Kang is the villain, we're getting a little bit more on the like time. Like we did multiverse, right? So we did universes. Now we're getting into more of like time stuff. And that seems to kind of lead us into potentially more of like the science-y realm of Marvel. And so we already know that like eventually down the line, we're going to get a Fantastic Four movie. So this could be kind of leading us to this more technological battle.
Yeah.
With Fantastic Four and this new age of, we're going to have Armor Wars. We're going to get all these new like smart Iron Man types coming into the MCU. So I'm interested in what this movie is going to be setting up for the next phase.
Right. Especially, we had all the rumors that we could be getting an intro to the Fantastic Four from She-Hulk, and that didn't happen. it makes more sense here in terms of like a post-credit scene.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing I'm really questioning is when Kang is talking with Ant-Man and he questions him. He says, "What's it going to be?" Like, I want to know what they're talking about. What's the motive there? What are they trying to do?
I feel like Kang would be a good villain to have kind of maybe start out sort of tricking everyone into working with him.
That's what it seems like.
Yeah.
From this trailer, he doesn't seem super evil or anything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and we look back at Loki whenever they finally go to He Who Remains. Within Loki, he says, "If you think I'm evil, wait until you meet my variants."
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of the nod setting up Kang the Conqueror, but it doesn't seem very conquering in this trailer. But again, I'm sure they're holding back. Like, I'm sure this is going to be pretty wild.
Right.
I would kind of expect if we do get MODOK, I don't know, I could see Cassie Lang fighting MODOK or something.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like we're getting to the point now where she's aged up enough where they're going to have to sort of slip her into a role somehow. So I could see that.
If she's suiting up in this one, then I'm expecting we're going to see some of that stuff go down.
Well, kind of speaking on this newer generation, the other trailer that was leaked from San Diego Comic-Con, I feel like I've seen up-resed versions of it lately. I'm expecting there to be a like full version before Black Panther as well. But we have the Marvels, and we're kind of getting into this. You know, this is, I guess, not the first time, obviously, that we've seen them pull something from a series into a movie or a movie into a series. But usually we get more movie into series than we do series into movie.
Yeah.
But the Marvel seems like it's going to pick up right where Miss Marvel left off, which is really exciting to see them like embrace these series. Because I mean, they're not. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was fun, but let's be real, it never had the money that a Marvel movie had.
Yeah.
But these Disney Plus series, I mean, they have just as much, if not more money than these Marvel movies have. And I don't know why we haven't done more with them. I mean, I get not wanting people to feel like they have to have Disney Plus to watch the series to understand the movies. Like I understand that. But at the same time, I would like to see some sort of like list of or chart or graph or whatever of what the percentage of people that watch Marvel movies is that don't have Disney Plus. Because I would imagine that that's the minority of people. If you're watching a Marvel movie, you probably have or know someone who has Disney Plus and watch the series as well.
Yeah.
So at some point, like, just start bringing them together. Even if you focus on the movies being a little less like you have to watch the series, but the series could be more like setup stuff.
Yeah.
I just want to see more of this like integration between the two, because you're telling us these little stories, which realistically are longer than movies. Some of them, you know. Yeah. You're telling us these stories and introducing these characters and telling us that it's canon with the movie, but then you're in the movie, you're acting like those people don't exist, even though you're in the same city that they're in. And it's like, but like, why
like,
wouldn't they be there?
I could see with like the Marvels, the intro to that being like Miss Marvel going like more this kind of meta-esque route of just like, hey, let me catch you up to what you've missed, and just kind of basically quickly retelling the Miss Marvel series. that makes sense for that, especially with like the style of the show, and and it even goes into being very similar to like Peter Parker, like documenting everything, like
Right.
vlogging it, like it's just
Right.
with the kids it makes sense. There's some other stuff, I don't know, it's trickier, but yeah, but I mean there's a lot of that I'm kind of thinking about now. It's like, not to get too crazy, but it's like prices are going up on everything, and like how is that going to affect streaming services going into the next year or two? Like, are people just going to stop paying for Disney Plus? And
that's true. True.
And if that happened, what are they going to do? Like,
yeah, I am surprised that they don't have like a free version with ads.
Yeah, you like,
or even like a cheaper version with ads, I guess.
It makes me wonder if any of these series will eventually trickle over into like Hulu for free. Like if you're a Hulu user, like you can watch. I wouldn't be surprised if within the next few years, like the intro series for Phase 4 will be like part of like Hulu or free to watch or something.
Yeah, and I think it would honestly be smart of them to do that. I've seen a couple other places do that as well, where it's like the first 2 episodes are free.
Even HBO Max, I think they've got some series where you can watch the whole first season for free.
Right. Yeah, just enough to hook you so that then you.
Yeah. Especially if a lot of these series that we've already watched are going to get season 2s, season 3s, etc. We know Loki season 2 is coming out. Like, there's so much that goes on in season 1. I would hope that they would release that for free, but we'll find out.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. Hopefully the world doesn't get too bad going into this next year, and people will keep watching and all this good stuff.
Well, kind of going through all the other stuff that we know about but haven't really seen any sort of trailers from or anything. There's Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. We have Secret Invasion, which will be a series. Echo, which will be a series I'm super excited for, because I feel like Hawkeye really set Echo up, and then now I feel like we have to wait. I think it's set for summer 2023, so like we have to wait basically a whole year to get that character again, and I really liked that story. I thought that was a lot of fun, so I'm looking forward to that.
It's actually one I'll probably revisit this December. It's like getting closer to Christmas. Just rewatch Hawkeye.
It's definitely a Christmas, like it's like watching a Christmas movie, sort of.
Exactly. Yeah.
We also have Loki season 2, Blade, which is a big one that was announced, and then I feel like, I mean, according to the last list that I looked at, it has a release date, but we don't know. I thought it got pushed back the movie. Yeah, it did.
Well, it's still kind of in limbo right now, right? Because I don't even think it has a director at this point.
Well, and they're still adding people to the cast too.
Really?
I'm not really sure what's going on there. Then we'll get Ironheart, which is the series following Riri. We'll have Agatha, Coven of Chaos. That'll be really exciting because my fiance, who didn't watch She-Hulk, but did watch WandaVision, she actually was like, hey, do you know anything about this? And she showed me the clip of Nikki smirking and looking at the camera. And she was like, do you know anything about this? People are saying that this may be Agatha. And I was like, you have no idea. Like,
yeah.
So I'm hoping that like maybe that will be answered in Agatha, Coven of Chaos. I don't know.
Also, Agatha just cast Aubrey Plaza.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's funny. That's exciting. I like Aubrey Plaza.
So I'm excited to see what role she'll play within that. That's pretty cool because this is her intro into the MCU. So
so yeah, hopefully she's getting like a actual character and not just like a cameo role. We also have the new Daredevil series, Daredevil Born Again, which will pick up where Daredevil left off. I don't know. So I'm very excited for that. We have a lot to watch before that comes out.
Oh my goodness.
Then we'll have Captain America: New World Order, which I believe is a movie. And it's a movie that will be following Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So that'll be kind of cool because it is like a series intro to movie.
Which we know we're getting. And what's interesting with that one is we're actually getting like a Hulk villain in New World Order.
Mm-hmm.
So Captain America versus the Leader is going to be pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm. And hopefully we're going to get a little bit more of like what Bucky's up to now as well.
Yeah.
Then we'll get the Thunderbolts, which is a movie, I believe. Which kind of like the series for a while, it seemed like the series were just made to introduce these characters so that they could set up for Thunderbolts.
Mm-hmm.
And then for whatever reason, that just kind of stopped.
Yeah.
They just pulled back from that. And I wish they would bring that back because I enjoyed those kind of like little bits.
I want to see, like more discussion there of like, what are they up to? Like,
right. What's going on?
So much story, and it's like you're teasing us, and then it's like we'll forget about it, and then the problem is like once they start bringing that back, are people going to care? Like, what's the goal there?
Right. We also have some Phase 6 and beyond stuff already set up. That will be Deadpool 3, which if you haven't seen the, I don't even know what to call it, I guess announcement trailer, go watch that. It's really fun and really funny. But that'll be a very exciting movie introducing Deadpool and Wolverine to the MCU. So it'll be interesting how they slip that in without having introduced X-Men yet. But it's not my job. Then we got Fantastic Four, Armor Wars, which would be a series, Shang-Chi 2, Spider-Man 4, which I don't know that I'm going to count that. Because I think I'm on Disney's side of kind of keeping Sony Spider-Man stuff at arm's length.
Yeah.
But then we do have Avengers the Kang Dynasty. So I feel like Kang can't be dealt with in Quantumania. He's definitely going to be around for a while. We just don't know what, like how or why. So it'll be interesting to see if he is pseudo good for a little while, I guess.
Yeah, man, I can't wait to see this movie. I just want to know, like, how is this setting up with Ant-Man and Wasp and like all these people, like what's going to happen to?
Right.
Like, it always seems like Scott gets in this position where he's like, I can go find everyone else and warn them. And it's like, is that what's going to happen here? Who knows?
And I don't know, because if you look the way that at least the list that I'm looking at where everything is kind of set up sort of in order, we have Avengers, the Kang Dynasty, followed by Avengers Secret Wars, which are both movies. So I'm wondering if it will be sort of like a Infinity War Endgame situation where like it's a 2-part finale, because I believe Secret Wars is set as the conclusion for Phase 6. So may have another 2-part conclusion. We're also getting a Wonder Man series, a Wakanda series that we don't really know anything about, and an Okoye series. So interesting that those are different things.
Yeah.
There's also an untitled Scarlett Johansson production. I don't know what it is.
The Widows.
It will have to be something with Black Widow. So like, I don't know if this was a slip up to release. Is this going to be a prequel kind of movie again? Which like I was not a fan of Black Widow, so not the character. I like the character, but the movie, I wasn't a fan of the movie. So I'm hoping that this isn't just like a follow-up to that movie where it's like, oh, look at Black Widow before she was an Avenger. It's like, no. So maybe she gets brought back. I mean, I don't know. So it'll be years before we find anything about that, because I think a lot of these movies, like Secret Wars, doesn't come out until 2025. So,
and it's probably going to get pushed back at some point.
Right.
So let's just be real. It's probably going to be like 2027.
So we have some time.
Too far away.
But it's exciting. It's exciting to see the list and genuinely be excited about, like, what could this mean? What could this be?
Yeah.
Hopefully good. That's all I really want. Something good.
Did you mention any of the other Sony stuff? Like, there's like Venom 3's been making some announcements, and then we also got Madame Web.
Yeah. I keep seeing Sony really, really try to hang on to the Spider-Man stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it really kills me that everyone is going to go see this movie when it comes out and it's going to make a lot of money. And at the end, everyone's going to be like, wow, that movie was terrible. And then they're going to come out with Venom 3 and everyone's going to go see it. And everyone's going to be like, wow, that was terrible. And it's like, stop going to see these movies, because Sony thinks that, Sony probably doesn't care. They're like, it doesn't matter that the movie's bad. It made triple.
Yeah, I mean, these are the things that linger on my mind. This whole nother discussion, but it's just like, from like any of the cast perspective, like the actors, like all of that, like if you know it's not gonna, I don't know, if you feel like something's missing, like it could be more, like, why don't you speak up?
Right. Especially just seeing, like, it was weird to me that they brought Venom into the MCU.
Yeah.
To do nothing, to just be there for an end credit scene where they blip him back. But then they're like, ooh, but the symbiote's here.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, cool. But like, again, it's very apparent that Disney is like, okay, now Spider-Man is Sony's problem. But when we get him back, we're just going to like rework whatever they did and start over again and be like, no, we have our own Venom and our own Spider-Man. So it's like, at some point, you got to see that, like, Disney and Marvel know what they're doing and Sony has no idea what they're doing. And they just need to give up on trying to make these movies. But at the same time, like, if I was Sony, I wouldn't give it up either. I mean, I know that everyone's going to pay to go see it. I don't know that I'm going to watch. I mean, I didn't even watch Venom 2 in theaters. I waited to watch it on a plane. So I think, for the sake of the podcast, I will see it so that we can talk about it earlier. But if I had the choice, I'd probably just wait until it was free to stream somewhere, because I have zero hopes for it. And so if it's even a little bit good, then all right, I'll accept the fact that maybe it's a little good. But for now, zero.
It's just so much stuff that could happen. Sony announces their own streaming platform exclusively showing
Spider-Man only. I mean, and like they want to keep doing stuff with Morbius, and they want to do stuff with Sinister Six, and they want to do all this stuff, and it's like, that's great, but you got to do it, and you got to do it well, and you can't just
we also have we got Craven as well, which
I'm like, okay, I think I've said it before, and I may have even said this last time we talked about this. I work for a big cat sanctuary, like a true big cat sanctuary. And so part of me is like, well, I already don't like Craven, right? Like, anti-Craven, but I also understand who Craven is in the comics.
Yeah.
He's like a crazy guy that wants to hunt the most vicious animals in the world and like beat them with bare hands. And that's who he is.
Mm-hmm.
So then when they announced the Kraven movie, and then they were like, but he's going to be like fighting for animal rights or whatever, it was like, cool. Like, I want to support that.
Mm-hmm.
But on the flip side, that doesn't make sense because Kraven is a villain. And I feel like now they're taking all these Spider-Man villains and making them anti-heroes, sort of.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, but it doesn't make sense. Like, Morbius has to drink blood so he can stay alive.
Yeah.
Not a good guy, just a bad guy. Just make him a bad guy. Why? I don't know why we spent an entire movie making him a good guy, where we all know as Spider-Man fans, or just I guess Marvel comic fans, that Morbius is a bad guy. So what was the point of that? So it's like the same with this Kraven movie, where it's like, what are you doing? Like, he's a bad guy. Just make him a bad guy. And why does he have to have his own movie? Like, just toss him in.
Pushed back to October, which is, yeah. So yeah, because originally going into next year, this was going to be the first thing we would have talked about, but now it's looking to be Ant-Man, Quantumania. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Like, it's tough. Yeah, like that was the whole thing with Morbius. Is exactly like, I mean, he's a villainous vampire, and like I wanted a setup for Blade there. Like, I want Morbius, just, you know, from a scientist perspective, yeah, I'm sure he wants to find a cure, but it's kind of like going that, you know, I'm going to call it like the Lost Boys route, where like that vampire with it just takes over, where he just becomes evil. And he's just out there terrorizing in the night. And that's where Blade shows up. Like, I can take care of him.
and I was confused when they came out with a Joker movie that had nothing to do with Batman and had no future for a Batman. Like, it was solely the Joker. Here's the Joker. Here's how I became the Joker. He's the Joker. I don't get it. I don't understand it, because there is no villain without a hero, just like there is no hero. Like, if you just watched a movie about Superman and he didn't do anything except walk around and like clean his apartment and like fly to work and write stories for the newspaper, that's not a movie. That's boring.
Yeah.
So you got to have a villain. So it's like the same thing with them taking like Morbius and trying to make him a hero, because it had to be sort of interesting. So there was a villain.
But, I mean, I feel like I love the Joker film, but that is so different than anything else, especially like the Joker is just in general mysterious. Like, he doesn't really have a true backstory. Like, there's just this mystery around like what makes him tick. And there's so much to play off of that. And there are different kind of stories around that, but just being able to play off of those is what's really fascinating. And it works there. But I get what you're saying. Like, don't have that same effect with like Morbius or Kraven.
Right. Because like, at least in the Joker, it is just sort of like you see him kind of just lose it throughout the movie. And then by the end, he's like a little bit crazy.
Yeah.
But in Morbius, it's like they still tried to give him a villain, so that sets him up as the hero. But at the end of the movie, it's like, but he's the villain. Like, you just made a movie where you made us like the villain.
Yeah. It's like, he needs to be battling himself there. He needs to be
right.
You know, there doesn't need to be these other vampires, whatever. It's like, he's pushing as hard as he can to not go evil, but like there's no controlling it. Like, he just goes evil, and seeing like the descent into that, and
exactly
the things that he does to kind of like, you know, it's the people that are close to him that he probably has to essentially kill. That's just going to pushes him over the edge. Like,
even if it was like the whole movie was him like battling the urge to like feed on people.
Yeah.
But then he like slipped up and he starts making vampires. and like he can't control it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how the movie ends. At least that would have set up like, okay, now there are vampires in the world because he can't control himself. Even if he is trying to like not be evil, he's causing this problem. And like you said, it would be great for that movie to have ended with like an end credit scene of Blade like jumping in and saving somebody from like one of his vampire goons.
Yeah.
Call it a day. I would have enjoyed that movie probably 3 times as much as I did.
Yeah.
And it would be great. But instead, I feel like they're going to do the same thing with Kraven. We're not going to get Spider-Man and Kraven. It's just going to be him. He's going to be fighting like poachers or something. And then at the end of the movie, he's going to be like, oh, but I also kind of want to like prove myself by fighting this lion.
No.
And the movie's over. Like,
I hope they don't do that. We'll see. I don't know. It's weird. It's like, because I know we don't talk about like, it's hard to see what the true future of MCU is right now as a whole, because you've got these things that are really in a way outside of the MCU's control that make things murky. That could be cool if everything could officially get brought in together. I think MCU themselves have a pretty clear path of where they're going. Though we are getting some newer stuff, and the question is how is it all going to fit in, especially when you get into Blade and things of that nature, because we have Werewolf by Night and like we're getting to more of this monstrous elements that's kind of going to be mixed in with this multiverse saga that we're in.
Right.
How's it all going to tie together?
And there's just like threads hanging out there still that like haven't been picked up but tied to anything. Like, what's Black Knight doing? Harrington. He's just hanging out, working at the museum still,
just teaching
like
students, just
so.
But we know that he met Blade. Like, what are they doing? Like,
exactly. Yeah. So it's like there's these things that they're setting up, but it seems like they're setting stuff up that we still have to wait like 2 to 3 years to get the payoff for the setup. But the setup for that was last year. Yeah. So like somebody's got to work out the timeline. And I get that like COVID makes things a little bit more difficult and they're pushing stuff back. And then there's like, rampant lack of materials, and that's causing holdups and problems. So I get that there's a lot going on in the world that's like pushing movies back.
Yeah.
But then it feels like they're putting movies out in the order that they didn't originally intend, because they're just putting out whatever they have finished. And then it kind of throws off the like, well, you set this up, but now you're given a setup for something else, but you didn't answer the stuff that you already set up. Like, I don't know. It's just strange.
It is strange.
So we have a lot to look forward to in the next year and following years. Hopefully something great happens in the next year, and like maybe we start seeing all this stuff move up in the timeline rather than get pushed back. And that would be great. I still think it would be great to be in a place where it was like series movie. Like, I think that'd be great. I mean, yes, it'd be great for us content wise, but I think it would also just be great as a fan to like basically always have something new Marvel to watch. So we'll see, I guess. I guess question for this week could just be like, of all the upcoming projects, like what are you the most excited about? And I'll say you could pick from any of the upcoming projects. And if you work at Disney or Marvel and you know about a project that we don't know about, and that's your favorite, you can send us a DM and tell us, hey, I work there and don't talk about this. And we'll be like, that's cool. We won't talk about it. Wink. So that'd be cool too. And if you work there, I mean, just get us access to watch stuff early. That's the goal.
Amazing.
So definitely join us next week. Maybe we'll do like a recap for Black Panther, just to get you all pumped and excited for Wakanda Forever, and go from there. And then hopefully the following week we'll be able to do Wakanda Forever. So
I can't wait. Yeah,
I know.
I'm very excited to go watch. I want to go, like right now, I really want to rewatch Black Panther, but I also want to go rewatch the Ant-Man films.
Yeah.
Especially the second one, because I've only seen the second one, I think 2 times.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to revisit that one again for sure.
I did the same thing about a month ago. I was like, you know what? I haven't watched the second Ant-Man movie that many times. So I watched it again. Yeah. I was like, oh yeah, I like it. So yeah, join us next week. We'll break down Black Panther again, just kind of get you all hyped. Potentially there could be another trailer or something. I don't know. If there is, we'll leave that up to the other agents if they want to watch it. And if they do, great, we'll talk about it. If not, then we'll slip it in separately or something. But yeah, thank you guys for listening. Make sure to follow us on social media if you haven't already. And we'll see you guys next week.